everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse, where today we watched Season 7, Episode 4, which the title pretty much gives it all away, except for the subplot of it, which is my favorite of it, but this is Bart sells his soul.
Bart gets the idea that he can make $5 by selling a soul because he doesn't think that's a big deal. But he comes to find out it's a big deal when he's walking in the doors and other strange things are happening.
He has no breath.
He has no breath. He's like...
Ha! Some ice cream guy's gonna see that, and it'll blow his mind!
Let me try.
Way to breathe, no breath.
And, he starts to believe that, maybe he made a mistake, and he's got to wrestle with his conscience and do what he's got to do to get his soul back, and that's our main plot. But, of course, we got a subplot and featuring Moe, who decides to get rid of the dank, and turn his bar into a family restaurant.
Yeah.
Uncle Moe's. Uncle Moe's Family Feedback.
Best title ever.
If I were driving down the street and I saw an Uncle Moe's Family Feedback,
I guess we'd be going.
we'd be going. Just telling, the franchisees out there,
Yep.
you want to open an Uncle Moe's Family Feedback and have an alligator with a
The
sunglasses
Yep, 100%.
and street signs
Street
indoors,
signs on
whatever.
the wall.
You might be selling me some birthday fries.
$1 million fries.
$1 million fries. Alright, well, let's kick it off with lines. Give me your first line.
Hey, Marge, remember when we used to make out to this hymn?
I, Ron Butterfly.
I had to start with that
Yeah,
one.
it's a brilliant opening because, of course, watch it, but Bart dupes everyone into singing an Iron Butterfly.
In the Garden of Eden. It does sound like it should be, a hymn, and the poor organist is playing for 17 minutes. And
She's crushing it.
yep,
Yeah.
she crushed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's got the mad organ skills.
It just sounded a little too much like rock and or roll
That's
for
right.
Reverend Lovejoy, though. So,
Yeah, kicks this whole thing off, but there you go.
what about you?
All right, so mine's first line has to do with the Moe subplot, and Moe's deciding, oh man, I think I got to turn this into a family restaurant, and he says, I can turn this dump into a place you wouldn't be ashamed to bring your family. And Homer says, I'm not ashamed to bring my family. Picks up Maggie, sits her on the bar, and Moe's like, Homer, put a coaster under that.
And she was, instead of her pacifier, she had one of the fancy umbrellas that you put in little cocktail drinks, so it was going in and out, which I thought was pretty clever for them.
It's good stuff, good stuff. All right, line 2.
I got it used from the Navy. You can flash fry a buffalo in 40 seconds.
But I want it now. That thing was like huge.
It was massive.
It was like a big hot tub fryer.
It was, I don't even know how it fit inside the door, to be honest with you, so.
Didn't it say like USS Missouri Nessie or something like that on it?
I don't remember.
So it was like definitely from a Navy battleship or something.
Definitely from a Navy battleship, and way too large for Moe's
Yeah, where would he even
family
put it?
feed bag, but he was deep frying everything, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, trays with wine glasses and everything on it, according to the commercial.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Alright, so when Bart is desperately searching for his soul, he's just going around town. He ends up at a house, and it's being fumigated, but this ominous-looking guy comes out like he's I don't know, like in a hazmat suit, but it looks more like a space suit.
It reminded me of the guys in E.T.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like that. And then he takes his helmet off, and he's like, they're not here. We're dusting for potato bugs or something like that. And then Bart asks him, did they leave with a piece of paper that had some writing on it? And the guy says, oh, yeah, you don't forget a thing like that. As in, he would have noted if they walked out with a piece of paper.
Of course. Clearly.
Because, of course, Bart wrote his soul on the piece of paper, and he needs to get that particular piece of paper back in order to get his soul, so to qualify that. So.
Oh, Bart. What about your favorite scene?
So my favorite scene is the crappy sponges.
Of course it is.
So Bart gets these $5 early.
Sponges.
Yeah, early in the thing, so so he can, sell his soul. He gets $5. He buys those silly sponges. I had those as a kid, and you're supposed to put water on it, and they expand. They're usually animal. They're like this big, and you put them in. We would put them in a bucket of water or something, and they would expand. So Bart imagines that this is going to grow into a massive, full-size T-Rex and chomp on Lisa and put funny-smelling water on her. In his imagination, that's what's going to happen. And instead, when he hits it with the hose, it just gets like 2 inches bigger and goes down the sewer. And he's like, "Oh man, I wasted $5 on this." But I loved his optimism that he was going to get a big, massive dinosaur out of it. And it was a little disappointed, but it was a fun sequence. So I thought that was cool.
So those little sponges, do you remember the little sponges that were in like a pill capsule?
Yes, that's how I remember them.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a different version.
Yeah, this was a different.
But I remember you'd put the pill in the bucket of water or the can of water or whatever, and it would dissolve, and then you'd go from this little pill like that to a toy like that, And when you're 7, that's fun.
It was magic.
Yeah.
100% magic.
So the scene brought that back because I just remember those were fun. So.
Right. They had both versions. They had the little capsule versions, and then they had a little grow sponges. So you could grow your own unicorn or something, and you put it in water, and it went from a little teeny penny-sized sponge to a 2-inch sponge or whatever, quarter size, penny to quarter size, basically. Wasn't all that impressive. Boy, did they smell bad.
Oh yeah. And then, they were fun for 5 minutes, and they were done with it.
And then I think they started to dissolve, to be honest with you. So,
what's your scene?
Just had to be curious about that. The $1 million birthday fries, my scene. Uncle Mo, here I am. Have a treat. While you eat. I'll wait while you're eating. And you can see the oil just dripping down onto his head. He's got a hot bucket of fries with flags sticking out of the basket on his head. And the scene that we saw, there were multiple birthdays, so that was his night. He didn't really seem to have very many wait staff, so.
No. But, the funny thing is he was successful. There were people there.
Yeah.
And if he would have tweaked the whole fry thing, he didn't have to put them on his head. He could have just brought them out and been like, "Here you go," and then walked away. He might have made some money, Right. I think he kind of made a few miscalculations there.
Do you think that he brought the dank back a little too early?
I think so. Yeah, I think. It's not Moe's style to deal with kids and families, so I think he was going against the grain, right? But if he wanted to make money, he was making money. There were people in that restaurant, and I feel like he just dropped that ball a little too quickly. That's just my opinion.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
So now we're on to winners and losers. What do you want to do first?
Give me your winner.
My winner is going to be Alf.
He's back.
He's back in pog form. That's all I'm going to say about my winner of this episode. You have to watch the episode to figure that out. What about you?
Snake. Because Moe's had this thing where if I'm not smiling when I bring your check, your meal's for free. He was down in the dumps, brought Snake a check, wasn't smiling. Snake gets the meal for free. And that's another thing, going back to what I said. It's like, he could have tweaked that policy a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to put that out there. He could have just said, come and have fun here, and we'll feed you, and you pay us when you leave. And he wouldn't. He could have been surly and still got his money.
Yep.
So Snake made out, as he usually does, because he's got some
I
silly
feel like
things.
he was going to dine and dash anyway.
Yeah.
He was going to
I signed you the potato skins. I signed you the potato skins.
Yeah.
Mostly because I just like that part. So.
It's a good one. And then our losers.
My loser is the Sinister Street Sweeper. So of course Bart's going around looking for his soul, and it's in like the middle of the night, and there's a street sweeper, and it sweeps Bart's bike, and shines it up, but destroys the bike. And this crazy dude's like,
While he's driving,
and ends up down a subway platform, down the steps. Drives
Crashes.
that truck that's probably not cheap, and I gotta figure that wasn't smart of him.
Nope, still laughing the
yeah.
entire way.
Yeah, so he seemed like not in the best place this episode. That's why you're in the loser spot for me.
He was on my loser list too, so I feel ya. I'm going to go with Moe's commercial, and he has fine dining. We take the best of fine dining and deep fry it for your enjoyment. And then he puts this in front of a couple that's dining in the commercial at least. And so I'm going specifically with the guy who breaks off a deep fried piece of the wine bottle and eats it. So can't imagine that's a good meal right there.
No, that would be not go down well.
Nope,
I think
can't imagine.
He's gonna have a little indigestion.
Yeah, I think the aftermath would be a little much too. So
Gonna need some
no
touch
fun.
pads.
Yep, some issues there for sure.
Eat deep fried glass.
Yep.
Probably
So
not smart.
deep fried glass eater. That's my loser.
I dig it.
And that's how we end this episode.
That's how we end this episode. It's a PSA. Don't eat the deep fried wine glass.
Don't eat glass.
No. Stay away from that.
Oh boy. So that was season 7, episode 4. Bart sells his soul.
Dig it. It's fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good one.
Give us a watch
Mhm.
and share your favorites in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. We really appreciate your viewership.
Mhm.
And until next time,
Jiminy Jillikers.
Hey boy, how you doing? Man, what's gotten into you? Jeez, you're pretty uppity for someone who eats bugs all day.